Yo, what's up everybody, it's Asterisk Rising, back at you with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a reaction video to Electro, explaining a video on graphite. And if you guys don't know who Electro is, he basically does all these tutorial videos explaining what different components do, as in like computer chips, all that, etc. But in most of his videos things often go wrong, which is why people like to watch it. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Hi, graphite. I like graphite. It's a specific arrangement of carbon atoms that is highly conductive, which also allows us to draw. Graphite has many applications, from pencils to DC motor brushes to some traces on electronics to battery carbon rods and more. This is a replacement lead of a mechanical pencil. It's not made of lead, of course, it's carbon. The reason they call it lead is the result of the same ignorance that resulted in calling the North American natives Indian. You know, those early explorers, when they found America, they thought they were in India, so they called them Indian. Later, British tried to fix it by eliminating natives, which they failed. So they took over India and tried to turn them into British, which they failed. Now we have to call the real Indians East Indian, South Asian, Asian Indian, or whatever, to avoid mixing them with natives who were wrongfully accused of being Indian. I wasn't even involved. The point is that people were originally using leads to draw. So when they discovered graphite, they thought it does the same thing, so it must also be an Indian. One important note, the element of lead is highly poisonous and I hate it. It turns you into an idiot before it kills you. But I like graphite. Now let's pass some current through the pencil lead. That way I can measure its resistance. Nowadays everything blows up.
He just put 18 volts through the piece of graphite. Why? You should only even put like less than about 6 volts through it.
Let's try again. Wow, it lights up well. Now
Okay,
I'm
that's
running 1 amp and measuring voltage
10
across
volts.
around 1 centimeter. So for this particular piece, the resistance is 150 milliohms across 1 centimeter. And this is how they make potentiometers. Let's try 30 volt 10 amp.
That makes
Just melted
such
my
a weird
alligator
noise.
clip. Now let's kick it up a notch. I'm gonna run 10 amps through a regular
That's not going to be a good idea. That's going to set the pencil up on fire, I betcha.
pencil's graphite. Wow, this is good. Oh my god! Whoa. Oh. Well, see, the graphite gets super hot and burns the wood around it, but it doesn't burn. That's why it's good for high temperature applications. Let's run 10 amps through this graphite and see how much it glows. Look at this. Let me see if I can measure its temperature using my thermal camera. Wow, look at that. Right away it goes above the 330
It's
degrees
probably
maximum.
burning just counter.
By the way, I have 4 of these thermal cameras to give away at the end of my video. So these get very hot. Always wear safety gloves to protect your fingers and don't try this at home. Let me see if I can make some arcs. Always wear safety goggles when dealing with very bright arcs. Let's try it again. Nice, look at that.
Please, something go wrong. Please. His glove.
Nice. Am I on fire? I suppose using the gardening gloves is not the best idea. You can get carbon rod from a carbon zinc battery, not an alkaline battery. Its structure is different. Make sure it says carbon zinc or heavy duty and it doesn't say alkaline or rechargeable. First you pull the cover off. Then you gently pull the battery rod out while turning it like this. Now I have double A battery rods, D-size battery rods, and some longer rods from my old 6-volt battery pack. And I have my super capacitor bank. I doubled the number of capacitors so I can charge them to 30 volts that can deliver more than 200 amps. Let's make some arcs now.
That's not going to be good.
Hey, my rods are burning? toggles. Well, it wasn't the rods apparently. It seems like there is some flux in them that eventually burns out. Let's see if we can melt some copper with this. Look at that, people. Molten... Oh, shit. This glove is not good for this purpose. Good news to my supporters at patreon.com. I have 4 of these Seek thermal cameras.
Yeah, I really don't know why the fuck he does this. I'm just gonna put on this one.
Hi, today I'd like to design one of those nightlight circuits that turns on the nightlight when the room gets dark. I came up with a simple circuit. It reduces the AC level and rectifies it with the full bridge rectifier, which is really just called the bridge rectifier. It powers the circuit which senses the light and switches light on and off. Please see my website electroboom.com for more details on the circuit. This circuit is a bit of an overkill because it's an industrial grade nightlight. Imagine a Hells Angels biker wants to stay overnight in an abandoned factory and he's scared of the dark, so he uses this circuit. Here's my creation. Let's plug it in. Amazing. Usually shit goes haywire at this point. Oh, I forgot to turn on the... What was that? I said I'm sorry. Always double check and triple check your circuits to make sure there is nothing shorted, especially when dealing with power circuits. I fixed it. Let's plug it in. Turning the lights off. The hell? Nice. I added a feature. It's blinking. Oh, I know. See? It's feeding back into the circuit. What happens is that when the light turns on, the sensor sees light and turns off its output. And when the light turns off, the room gets dark, the sensor turns it back on again, and the loop continues. Now if I cut the feedback by blocking the light, it stays on forever. It's working. Now let me discuss the power supply side of the circuit and show you some waveforms. As I showed earlier, the first stage is a capacitive voltage divider. Now if I probe the input AC, I have...
Did he just shock his eyebrow or something? He was holding his eyebrow. Oh, you fucktard.
Mentioned it before. The ground of the probe is shorted to the earth terminal of the power plug through the scope, and this circuit is pretty much riding on the live wire. So when you connect your probe ground to this circuit, you're just shorting the 120 volt AC output. It is a safety feature, but for application like this, you need to insulate your earth. So you can put some tape around it or use an insulating transformer, which I don't have. Okay, here's the 120 volt AC input to the circuit. And this is the output of the capacitor divider. And as you can see, it's much smaller. Let me zoom in. You also see that it's a little bit deformed because it's loaded by the circuit. Now if I measure the output of the rectifier, it is AC. Oh, the ground. That's AC too. What the hell? Something I forgot to mention is that the rectifier output is only DC between its power and ground output, not reference to the input wires. So I have to move the probe ground to the rectifier output ground, which is, I think, this...
The fuck?
You might want to turn things off before moving things around to avoid shorts. Okay, fixed. Now, this is the output of the bridge rectifier, which is around 13 volts, but it can change to around 7 volts, depending on the loading of the circuit on the voltage supply. Now I feed that voltage into my 5 volt regulator, which provides a fixed 5 volt output and doesn't change by input fluctuations. And that supplies to my sensor circuit, and the sensor circuit turns the light switches on and off. That's it, I'm done with this circuit. It's all fixed and functional, so I'm gonna pass it on to one of my eligible patrons at patreon.com. If you also like to support my channel, you can go to patreon.com/electroboom. Become my patron and potentially win one of these giveaways. Potentially, get it? Because
I don't trust that. Why would one of his patrons want that, like? Sure, it's already after going wrong for him in the video, so like, why would he give it away?
everything is potentially charged around here, which means that this might be a liability to send to anyone. It's like sending anthrax by mail. Well, I'm gonna send it to the draw winner anyways, but it's for educational purposes only, right? So if you kill yourself using it, don't go around and badmouth me, okay?
I think I might watch one more. Electrocution in water.